Hey, what's good, everybody? Comment, like, subscribe, share the video. So I was watching a podcast recently, and they bring up Ayesha Curry and Akash Singh's wife, and they were trying to make a comparison between the two as to like why it feels like Ayesha was talked about way worse online and dragged out compared to Akash Singh's wife, even though Akash Singh's wife has said a lot more horrible, disgusting things compared to what Ayesha has said. And the reason is Steph Curry. Steph Curry is a much more famous human being. We have sporting networks that are 24/7 that constantly talk about a man like Steph Curry. You know, he's one of the best basketball players of all time. And anything that has to do with him is going to get brought up a lot more than anything that has to do with Akash. You know, no disrespect to Akash, he's a famous person as well, but he's not on the same level as Steph Curry. So that's why it feels like maybe they dragged Ayesha a lot more than they did for Akash's wife. Even though, like I said, Ayesha didn't say nothing as nearly as bad as what Akash's wife has said. But again, it has to do with the fame. It doesn't have to do with the what was said. Because if we're comparing the two, obviously, what Akash's wife said was way worse. You know, Akash, there's really no fixing that. There's once something hits the internet, it's on the internet forever. And the fact that his wife just talks about him like that, the fact that she feels like a brat and she's so entitled to thinking that she needs all these things and deserves it, and keeps disrespecting her husband that way she does, and he allows it. You know, that's the other thing. He's allowing it. There's no coming back from that. You know, he might be able to put his foot down, but like I said, it's already on the internet. So I don't know how much you can fight to get that respect back that you once had, you know, in other people's eyes. You can try, but I don't see it. I see the only thing I can see is maybe leaving the woman, moving on, and maybe you might be able to get your self-respect back that way. You know, maybe get the respect from others in that manner. As for Ayesha, you know, it's the problem with her, you know, because it's not even the biggest issue in the world, but she needs to learn to have a filter. That's really the major thing about Ayesha. She's not a horribly disrespectful woman. She just needs to have a filter and know that, hey, that maybe at one time you felt like you were going to do great things, but your husband happened to do better things. Just, you know, I can understand that. I will understand you wanted to have a career and you thought that this and that was going to pan out for you, but it didn't. You know, you married your husband and he brought you an amazing life. You got to realize that the reason why people are talking to you and you are where you are is because of your husband. You know, not to be disrespectful to you, not saying that you are not as important as your husband and all this and that, but your husband is the reason why people, you know, bring you on podcasts, people interview you. It's because of your husband. If he was a nobody, then it'd be on you to get to these places. And unfortunately, not once has anybody ever heard about you until your husband became the player that he became. So, you know, we gotta learn to sound more appreciative about the people that bring us, you know, all that good in our lives. Because when you were talking about your husband, you made it seem as if you didn't appreciate the life that he was bringing you. And that was the major thing, because he nonstop talks beautifully about you. He thinks that you're the best thing in the world. And the fact that you make it seem as if you don't appreciate it, that's the bad thing. You know, if you could like tone it down, if you filtered it, you'd be one of those women, you know, just like LeBron's wife that everybody talks about, that holds herself in high regard. If you were able to filter yourself like that, then people would be like, okay, well, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with Ayesha. She's a good person, all this and that. If you just have to have a bit of a filter. You have to learn, hey, maybe I shouldn't say something about my husband, you know, even if you find it funny or whatever the case is, because people take things and they run with it. You know, it could be a joke to you, but to the world, oh, she don't think he's nothing. you got to be careful with what you say about your man, especially a man that treats you amazingly and puts you in the positions that you are in. You know, he's a very good dude. Never heard anything negative about Steph Curry besides the things that you yourself had said. You know, so that's just what I think when it comes to that. You know, we can't compare the two ladies because obviously one has done and said a lot worse things. So we can't compare the two negative things that were ever brought up. And again, Ayesha was only talked about because she's a lot more famous. If Kash's wife was on the same level of fame, you know, Kash was on the same level, I should say, then, you know, you would see her getting dragged a lot more, because right now she's getting dragged all over the internet. You know, and there's even people that don't know she's getting dragged because guess what? They don't follow this. They don't follow this type of topics, this kind of subject. They don't follow it. But Ayesha, even if you don't follow anything about what she might have said, they'll still know who she is because that's how famous Steph Curry is. So that's why we can't make those two comparisons. We cannot do those two comparisons. But yeah, just with Ayesha, filter Akash with your wife. Good luck. That's all I'll say. That, to me, that's a whole, you know, a better comparison would have been Jada Pinkett and Akash's wife. That's a better comparison compared to Ayesha and Akash's wife. Let me know what you guys think, though. Comment, like, subscribe, share the video, and follow me on TikTok. Peace.